Ever wondered how animals not only survive, but absolutely dominate the most extreme conditions on Earth? This video unlocks 100 incredible evolutionary hacks that will leave you in awe of nature's ingenuity. We're meeting animals that defy physics, possess biological superpowers, and will make you question everything you thought was possible. So buckle up for an incredible adventure from the deepest oceans to the highest peaks. All right, meet Turritopsis dohrnii, the jellyfish that found the cheat code for immortality. When this incredible creature faces stress, injury, or gets tired of being old, it doesn't give up. It literally hits a biological factory reset button. Through a mind-bending process called transdifferentiation, it dissolves its adult cells and rebuilds them back into its baby form, called a polyp. It's the ultimate do-over. Unless something eats it, this jellyfish can theoretically rebirth itself forever, making it nature's only known example of a truly infinite life cycle. How's that for a comeback story? 2. Forget comic book heroes. The pistol shrimp is the ocean's real-life gunslinger. This tiny crustacean has one massively oversized claw that it snaps shut with insane speed. This action shoots a water jet so fast that it creates a cavitation bubble. When that bubble implodes, boom! It generates a shockwave loud enough to stun its prey instantly. But the craziest part? For a microscopic fraction of a second, the collapse of that bubble creates a hotspot reaching a staggering 4,700 degrees Celsius, 8,500 degrees Fahrenheit. That's almost as hot as the surface of our sun. This little shrimp is literally creating miniature supernovae underwater. 3. Let me introduce you to the tardigrade, also known as the water bear. These microscopic, chubby-legged legends are nature's ultimate survivalists. Boiling heat, freezing cold, lethal radiation, even the vacuum of space, they shrug it all off. Their secret? When conditions get deadly, they dehydrate themselves, replacing their water with a special sugar. This turns them into a glass-like dormant pod called a tun. In this state, they're virtually indestructible. They can survive for decades, just waiting for things to get better before rehydrating and walking away as if nothing had happened. 4. Get ready for a real-life horror story featuring the zombie snail. A parasitic flatworm called Leucochloridium invades a snail's body and, I am not making this up, takes control of its brain and eye stalks. It transforms the snail's tentacles into pulsating, neon-colored strips that mimic the appearance of tasty caterpillars. Under this mind control, the zombified snail is forced out into the open, making it an easy target for birds. Why? The parasite must enter the bird's gut to complete its reproductive cycle. It's a parasitic disco light show of doom, and it's both terrifying and fascinating. 5. Talk about taking out with the old, in with the new to the absolute extreme. If this sea slug gets a nasty parasite infection or needs a fresh start, its solution is unbelievably dramatic. It decapitates itself. Its head literally detaches from its own body and crawls away. The old body, complete with the heart, is left to die. But the head? It just casually goes about its life, munching on algae. Within about 3 weeks, it regenerates an entirely new body, from the neck down, heart and all. It's the most extreme biological reboot imaginable. 6. Imagine being frozen solid and living to tell the tale. The wood frog does this every winter. It allows up to 70% of its body water to freeze. Its heart stops beating, and it doesn't breathe. It's essentially a frog-shaped ice cube. The secret? Its liver pumps out massive amounts of glucose, which acts like a natural antifreeze, protecting its cells from fatal ice damage. When spring thaw arrives, it simply defrosts and hops away as if its months-long cryosleep was no big deal. It's the ultimate freeze and pause function. 7. Meet the axolotl, the Peter Pan of the animal kingdom. This adorable salamander never really grows up, reaching adulthood while still in its aquatic larval form. But its real superpower is regeneration. Lose a leg? It grows a new one, perfectly. Tail, jaw, even parts of its heart and brain? No problem. It can rebuild complex body parts multiple times with zero scarring. Individuals are obsessed with them, hoping to unlock the secrets to human tissue regeneration. They're basically living, breathing superheroes of the swamp. 8. Don't let its rainbow colors fool you. The mantis shrimp is an underwater nightmare. Some species have club-like claws that they accelerate with the force of a .22 caliber bullet. They move so fast that they vaporize the water in front of them, creating cavitation bubbles. When these bubbles collapse, they unleash a secondary shockwave and a flash of light, delivering a 1-2 punch that can shatter crab shells and even aquarium glass. It's the most powerful strike in the animal kingdom, and it happens in less than the blink of an eye. 9. This beetle has a built-in chemical warfare system straight out of a sci-fi movie. When threatened, it mixes 2 reactive chemicals in a special combustion chamber in its abdomen. Then, it precisely fires a boiling, toxic spray at its attacker through a rotating turret. The reaction is so explosive, it produces a loud pop. This rapid-fire, boiling chemical blast is a brilliant and brutal defense that convinces most predators to find a less explosive lunch immediately. 10. The diabolical ironclad beetle, the uncrushable bug. This beetle's name says it all. It's so tough you could literally run it over with a car and it would just walk away. Its exoskeleton isn't just hard, it's a complex interlocking puzzle of segments that acts like a super strong suit of armor, dissipating immense force. It doesn't fly or bite, its entire existence is built on being indestructible. Engineers are now studying its design to create stronger, more crash-resistant materials for everything from aircraft to armor. 11. Talk about a major design flaw. The colossal squid has one of the weirdest brains in the animal kingdom. It's shaped like a donut. Its esophagus runs directly through the center of its brain ring. This means swallowing a piece of prey that's too large can actually injure its own brain. It's the ultimate example of your eyes were bigger than your stomach, but with potentially catastrophic consequences. This deep-sea giant has to carefully manage its meals to avoid giving itself a headache of epic proportions. 12. This isn't your average garden snail. The scaly-foot snail lives deep in the Indian Ocean, near scorching hydrothermal vents. To survive the harsh pressure and predators, it builds itself a suit of iron armor. It secretes iron sulfides from its foot, creating a shell and scales reinforced with metal. It's the only known animal on Earth to incorporate iron into its skeleton. This snail is a living, breathing medieval knight, forged in the deepest, hottest forges of the ocean. 13. Who needs solar panels when you're a hornet? The oriental hornet is a buzzing power plant. The yellow bands on its abdomen contain a special pigment called xanthopterin that actually converts sunlight into electrical energy. This gives it a boost of power during the hottest part of the day when it's most active. It even designs its underground nests with a clever ventilation system that might use this solar energy for cooling. 14. Forget solar panels on your roof. How about solar cells in your cells? The spotted salamander is the first and only known solar-powered vertebrate. It forms a partnership with algae that live inside the salamander's own cells, right next to its embryos. The algae produce oxygen and sugars through photosynthesis, giving the growing salamander babies an energy boost. In return, the embryos provide the algae with waste products that help fuel their growth. It's a perfect, symbiotic, solar-powered nursery. 15. This snake saw the trees and said, "I can fly." To escape predators, the paradise tree snake will leap from a high branch, and what happens next is pure physics. It flattens its body into a concave, wing-like shape and undulates through the air in an S shape. This creates lift, allowing it to glide effortlessly up to 100 meters, 330 feet, from tree to tree. It doesn't just fall, it truly soars, making it one of the most agile and unexpected aviators in the animal kingdom. 16. When this lizard says, "I'm seeing red," it means business. If a predator doesn't back off, the horned lizard has a truly grotesque finale. It restricts blood flow in its head, building up pressure until it ruptures tiny vessels in its eyelids. Then, it squirts a precise stream of blood mixed with nasty chemicals up to 1.5 meters, 5 feet away. The foul-tasting blood confuses and repels predators like coyotes and wolves. It's a shocking and utterly unique defense mechanism that gives new meaning to the phrase, crying blood. 17. This ancient eel-like creature is the ocean's master of gross-out tactics. When grabbed by a shark, the hagfish doesn't fight, it sneezes. Well, not quite. It exudes a special slime from pores along its body. Upon contact with seawater, the mucins in the slime expand instantly, creating liters, gallons, of a thick, choking, snot-like substance. This goo can clog the predator's gills, forcing it to gag and release the hagfish or risk suffocation. It's a slimy, brilliant, and utterly disgusting escape artist. 18. Forget simple camouflage. This octopus is a method actor. While most creatures hide, the Indo-Pacific mimic octopus performs. It can dynamically contort its boneless body and change color and texture to impersonate at least 15 different species. To scare a territorial damselfish, it flattens and swims like a poisonous flatfish. To deter a small predator, it tucks 7 arms away and waves 2 striped ones, perfectly mimicking a lethal banded sea snake. It's not just hiding, it's a thinking, shape-shifting genius of deception. 19. This freshwater predator is basically a living battery. Its 860-volt shock is strong enough to stun a horse, but its electrical talents go far beyond offense. It uses lower voltage pulses like radar to navigate murky waters and communicate with other eels. Even more cleverly, it can curl its body around a struggling prey, effectively doubling the shock's power for a concentrated jolt. It's a sophisticated hunter that uses electricity as a weapon, a GPS, and a walkie-talkie all in one. 20. Picture a hermit crab that never stopped growing, and you get the coconut crab, the largest land arthropod on Earth, with a leg span of up to 1 meter, 3.3 feet. But its real power is in its claws. They can exert a crushing force of about 3,300 newtons, 740 pounds force, more potent than a lion's bite. They use this incredible force to crack open coconuts, their namesake snack. These monstrous crabs are strong enough to climb trees and will eat just about anything they can get their powerful claws on. 21. When Japan's engineers faced a problem with their bullet train, a loud sonic boom when exiting tunnels, they found inspiration in nature. They modeled the train's new nose after the kingfisher's beak. This bird dives from the air into the water with barely a splash, because its beak is perfectly streamlined, reducing drag. The new train design didn't just solve the noise problem, it became 10% faster and 15% more energy efficient. It's a perfect example of biomimicry, where a bird's design revolutionized high-speed rail. 22. This is aggressive mimicry at its most beautiful and deadly. The orchid mantis doesn't just hide on flowers, it has evolved to become one. Its legs are shaped and colored like delicate flower petals, and it sways gently to mimic a blossom in the breeze. This gorgeous disguise is a lethal trap for pollinators like bees and butterflies, which are drawn in by the illusion of nectar. They instead meet one of the fastest strikes in the insect world. It's a predator disguised as the very thing its prey desires. 23. This gecko takes camouflage to a gothic, artistic extreme. Native to Madagascar, it looks less like an animal and more like a dead, decaying leaf. Its body is crumpled and flat. Its tail has notches to mimic bite marks, and it has horn-like projections over its eyes. It can even change its skin color to match the forest floor. It is the pinnacle of disappearing, proving that sometimes the best way to stay safe is to look completely unappetizing and already dead. 24. Camouflage isn't always for hunting. Sometimes it's for pure, patient defense. The stonefish is the most venomous fish in the world, but it rarely needs to use its venom because it's virtually undetectable. It looks exactly like an encrusted, algae-covered rock and can lie motionless for hours on the seafloor. The danger comes when someone accidentally steps on it, triggering neurotoxic venom from its 13 dorsal spines that is excruciatingly painful and can be fatal to humans. It's the master of leave me alone. 25. When the rivers of Africa dry up, the lungfish doesn't just wait for death. It burrows deep into the mud, secretes a mucus cocoon around its body, and enters a state of suspended animation called estivation. It slows its metabolism to a tiny fraction of its normal rate and can live in this dormant state, breathing through a small mud-built air hole for up to 4 years. It literally sleeps through the drought, waiting for the rains to return and resurrect its aquatic world. 26. Patience is this caterpillar's ultimate superpower. In the brutally short Arctic summers, it has a childhood that stretches over 14 years. For most of its life, it's literally frozen solid, like a tiny, fuzzy popsicle. It thaws out for only about 2 weeks each summer to eat a little bit, then refreezes again. It uses natural antifreeze in its tissues to survive this cycle. After more than a decade of this frozen routine, it finally pupates into a moth. It's the ultimate lesson in playing the long, long, long game. 27. Meet the most heat-tolerant animal on Earth. The Pompeii worm lives on the edge of deep-sea hydrothermal vents, where superheated water spews from the Earth's crust. It positions its tail near the water, reaching 80 degrees Celsius, 176 degrees Fahrenheit, while its head extends into cooler 22 degrees Celsius, 72 degrees Fahrenheit, water. This means it withstands a 55 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, temperature gradient across its body. It survives thanks to a cozy, symbiotic layer of bacteria on its back that acts as a living heat shield. This worm truly enjoys life on the edge. 28. In the desert, temporary ponds are a race against time. When the spadefoot toad lays its eggs, some of the tadpoles get a sinister upgrade, develop wider jaws, stronger muscles, and a taste for their herbivorous brothers and sisters. This protein-packed diet lets them metamorphose into toadlets in an explosive 2 weeks, rather than the usual several. It's a brutal but brilliant adaptation for desert survival. 29. Blind and living in underground tunnels, this mole doesn't need eyes when it has a super-powered nose. The pink, fleshy star on its snout is covered with over 25,000 microscopic sensory receptors called Eimer's organs, making it the most sensitive touch organ on the planet. It can identify, touch, and decide if something is edible in as little as 8 milliseconds, and consume prey in an incredible 120 milliseconds. It's basically a high-speed, worm-snatching machine that sees the world through its astonishing nose. 30. This owl is a master of acoustic espionage. It can hear a vole scurrying beneath 60 centimeters, 2 feet, of snow. Its vast, dish-shaped face acts like a satellite dish, funneling the faintest sounds with pinpoint accuracy to its asymmetrical ears. One is higher than the other. This allows it to create a precise 3D audio map of its environment. It then plunges, head first, through the snow, guided purely by sound, and snatches a rodent it has never even seen. 31. A bloodhound's sense of smell is so ridiculously accurate that its tracking evidence is admissible in court. With nearly 300 million scent receptors, we have about 5 million, and long, floppy ears that sweep smells from the ground up to its nose, it can follow a trail that is over 300 hours old. It's the gold standard for tracking, able to follow a specific person's scent for miles, even across roads and through crowds. This dog's nose is a biological marvel. 32. Cuttlefish don't just change color for camouflage, they use their skin as a dynamic communication screen and weapon. Their skin contains millions of pigment cells called chromatophores, which are controlled directly by their neurons. They can change their entire color and pattern in less than a second, creating complex, moving waves across their body. They even use these rapid-fire patterns to hypnotize prey, making them freeze just before the cuttlefish strikes with its lightning-fast feeding tentacles. 33. These wrinkly underground rodents are bizarre in many ways, but their superpower is a remarkable resistance to cancer. Their secret? A special, extra-long and dense sugary goo called hyaluronin surrounds their cells. This goo makes it very difficult for cells to divide uncontrollably and form tumors. This unique adaptation, combined with other cellular mechanisms, makes them nearly immune to cancer, and scientists are desperately studying them to find clues for human medicine. 34. Humpback whales are sophisticated team hunters. A group will work together to blow a bubble net. They swim in a shrinking circle below a school of fish, releasing a curtain of bubbles from their blowholes. This wall of bubbles acts like a net, corralling the terrified fish into a tight, concentrated ball. Then, with a coordinated surge, the whales swim upward from below with their gigantic mouths wide open, consuming thousands of fish in a single, epic gulp. 35. The superb lyrebird of Australia is the world's greatest avian impersonator. Its repertoire isn't just other bird calls. It can perfectly mimic the sound of chainsaws, car alarms, camera shutters, and even human voices. In the wild, males create a powerful symphony of the forest by weaving together the calls of at least 15 other bird species to impress females. It's a living, breathing DJ of the jungle, remixing the sounds of its environment into a masterpiece. 36. If you ever feel like you're falling apart, remember the planarian flatworm. If you cut one in half, you don't get a dead worm. You get two live worms. The head half grows a brand new tail, and the tail half grows a brand new head, complete with a fully functioning brain, eyes, and everything. Scientists are studying these incredible creatures to understand the secrets of regeneration and stem cells. They are essentially living proof that for some, a significant setback is just an opportunity to grow a whole new you. 37. This lemur from Madagascar looks like it arrived from a Tim Burton film, and its foraging method is just as bizarre. It has a freakishly long, bony middle finger. It uses this finger to tap, tap, tap on wood, listening carefully for the echo of hollow chambers underneath the bark. When it finds one, it gnaws a hole and uses that same slender finger to skewer and extract grubs like a living shish kebab. It's the only primate in the world that uses echolocation, making it a percussive master of finding dinner. 38. This beetle is the universe's most excellent navigator. On clear, moonless nights, the dung beetle has a critical job, rolling its precious dung ball away from competitors in a straight line. But without the moon to guide it, how does it manage? It climbs on top of its dung ball and does a little dance to orient itself using the faint silvery band of the Milky Way galaxy. It's the only animal known to use the entire galaxy for navigation, proving you don't need a GPS when you have a cosmic roadmap. 39. This bird is the ultimate endurance athlete. The bar-tailed godwit undertakes the longest non-stop flight of any bird on Earth. It flies from its breeding grounds in Alaska all the way to New Zealand, an incredible journey of over 11,000 kilometers, 7,000 miles, without stopping for food, water, or rest. It flies for 8 or 9 days straight, fueled entirely by fat reserves built up before the journey. It's a trans-Pacific marathon that pushes the limits of animal physiology. 40. That legendary TUSK isn't just for show. It's one of the most sensitive teeth in the world. This giant spiralized tooth can grow up to 3 meters long and is packed with millions of nerve endings. Recent research suggests it's a sensory organ that can detect subtle changes in water pressure, temperature, and salinity. It helps the narwhal taste its icy Arctic environment, find mates, and maybe even stun fish. It's a Swiss Army knife tooth, and it's genuine. 41. The anableps, or four-eyed fish, doesn't actually have 4 eyes, but it might as well. Each of its 2 eyes is split horizontally by a band of tissue, creating 2 separate pupils. It swims at the water's surface with the top half of its eyes scanning the air for insects and birds, while the bottom half scans the water for predators. Its brain processes 2 distinct visual fields simultaneously, allowing it to see 2 worlds, above and below the water, simultaneously. Talk about multitasking. 42. This is the world's largest frog, growing up to 32 centimeters, 13 inches, long. But its size isn't its only talent. The male Goliath frog is a dedicated architect. To ensure a safe nursery for its tadpoles, it actively builds a nest. It moves heavy rocks and stones, sometimes half its own body weight, to create a small, protected pond in the riverbed, shielding its offspring from strong currents. It's one of the few frogs that goes to such extraordinary lengths for its kids. 43. The sailfish is the Ferrari of the ocean, capable of breathtaking bursts of speed up to 110 kilometers per hour, 68 miles per hour. But it's not just fast, it's a clever hunter. Its long, sharp bill is used like a sword to slash through dense schools of fish, injuring them. Then, it raises its magnificent sail-like dorsal fin to appear larger and herd the terrified wounded fish into a tight bait ball. Finally, it circles back to scoop up its day's dinner easily. It's speed, strategy, and style all in one. 44. The antlion larva is a patient subterranean assassin. It digs a perfect conical pit in fine, dry sand by crawling backwards in a spiral. It then buries itself at the bottom and waits. When an ant stumbles into the pit, the loose sand gives way. The antlion flicks its head, launching sand to create a miniature avalanche, ensuring its prey slides directly into its waiting, sickle-shaped jaws. It's a master of trap engineering, turning the ground itself into a deadly weapon. On the remote Galapagos Islands, this little finch has developed a taste for blood. When other food is scarce, it uses its sharp beak to peck at the skin feathers of larger birds, like boobies, and drinks the blood that wells up. Surprisingly, the boobies often tolerate this, possibly because the finch also eats parasites off them, providing a cleaning service. It's a grim but compelling adaptation. 46. When threatened, some sea cucumbers have the most dramatic exit strategy imaginable. They vomit their own organs out of their anus. This violent muscle contraction launches sticky and sometimes toxic entrails at the predator. The disgusting mess tangles and distracts the attacker, while the now much lighter sea cucumber makes a slow but steady escape. The craziest part? It doesn't even need those organs. It will regenerate a brand new set of intestines within a few weeks. It's the ultimate, take my stuff, just leave me alone defense. 47. This fish is the undisputed sharpshooter of the river. It hunts by shooting a powerful, precise jet of water from its mouth to knock insects, spiders, and even small lizards off overhanging leaves and branches. Its brain can instantly calculate water refraction, how light bends in water, and gravity to make an accurate shot. It can hit targets up to 1.8 meters, 6 feet, away with pinpoint accuracy. It's basically a living, breathing water pistol with a PhD in physics. 48. Forget a simple nest. The male bowerbird is a master artist and architect. He constructs an elaborate structure called a bower, an avenue of carefully interwoven sticks, and decorates it with a meticulously arranged collection of colorful objects. He uses blueberries, flowers, shells, bottle caps, and even plastic pieces, sorting them by color and size. He uses visual perspective to make his display look larger and more impressive to visiting females. It's not just a nest, it's an art gallery built for love. 49. This beautiful floating terror looks like a single jellyfish, but it's actually a siphonophore, a floating colony of thousands of individual organisms called zooids. Each zooid has a specialized job. Some form the gas-filled float, some make up the long, stinging tentacles, others are dedicated to digestion, and another group handles reproduction. They are all physically connected and cannot survive on their own. It's a superorganism, a city of creatures working together as one to sail the seas and hunt. 50. This desert rodent is the ultimate hydration ninja. It never, ever needs to drink water. It gets all the moisture it requires from the metabolic water produced when it digests the dry seeds it eats. Its kidneys are so incredibly efficient that they produce urine that is almost solid crystal, conserving every single drop of precious liquid. It's so well adapted to desert life that drinking actual water could actually be bad for it. It's a self-contained, water-producing marvel. 51. This tiny crab has the cutest and deadliest partnership in the sea. It picks up a small, stinging sea anemone in each of its claws and waves them around like living pom-poms. Any predator that gets too close is met with a stinging slap from these living weapons. The crab also uses the anemones to mop up food particles from the sea floor. In return, the anemones get a free ride and scraps of food. It's a symbiotic relationship that's both adorable and brutally effective. 52. This crab is a master of DIY camouflage. It doesn't just hide, it actively decorates its shell. Using tiny, hook-like structures on its carapace, it attaches living organisms like seaweed, sponges, and hydroids to its back. These organisms continue to grow and thrive, providing the crab with a perfect, living, and moving disguise. Some species are so dedicated that they will even replant their garden after molting and getting a new shell. It's a walking, talking ecosystem. 53. Bats navigate and hunt in pitch blackness using a biological sonar system called echolocation. They emit high-frequency sounds, mostly inaudible to humans, that bounce off objects. Their large, intricate ears form a sophisticated receiver that catches the returning echoes. Their brains process this information into a detailed, sound picture of their surroundings, allowing them to detect and catch tiny insects mid-flight with breathtaking accuracy. They are the original pilots of acoustic technology. 54. This is one of the most famous friendships in the sea. Clownfish are immune to the stinging cells of sea anemones. They live within the anemone's venomous tentacles, gaining complete protection from predators. In return, the clownfish defends the anemone from predators, removes dead tentacles, and provides nutrients from its waste. The clownfish's bright colors may even lure other fish into the anemone's territory for the anemone to eat. It's a perfect mutualistic sleepover that never ends. 55. Forget what you know about porcupines. This South American species is an agile tree dweller, and its secret weapon is its tail. The tip of its long tail is bare, muscular, and covered in tiny bumps for grip, making it fully prehensile. It acts as a fifth limb, allowing the porcupine to anchor itself securely and even hang completely upside down from branches while it uses its front paws to munch on leaves and fruit. It's an acrobat with a built-in safety rope. 56. While most baboons will eat anything, the gelada is a dedicated vegetarian. It spends its days grazing on grasses in Ethiopia's highlands, and it has the tools for the job. It has powerful, nimble fingers, perfect for plucking individual grass blades and seeds with surgical precision. Its most unique feature? A weird lip that can flip up and over its nostrils to seal them completely, keeping out dust and dirt while it feasts face down in the fields. It's the only primate that essentially has a built-in dust mask for mealtimes. 57. This clever bird is one of the few wild animals known to communicate and cooperate with humans actively. The greater honeyguide loves beeswax but can't break into beehives itself. So it flies to a nearby human, chatters loudly, and flits from tree to tree, leading the person directly to the hive. After the humans smoke out the bees and collect the honey, the bird gets the leftover wax and larvae. It's a rare, mutually beneficial partnership that crosses the species barrier. 58. This is the world's most dangerous bird, and for good reason. Directly descended from dinosaurs, the cassowary has a 13-centimeter (5-inch) long dagger-like claw on its inner toe. When threatened, it can launch a kick with enough force to slice open predators, or humans, with a single lethal blow. They can run at 50 kilometers per hour, 31 miles per hour, through dense forest and jump nearly 2 meters, 6.5 feet, straight up. It's a beautiful, flightless reminder that birds are essentially modern-day raptors. 59. The cuckoo bird is the con artist of the avian world. It practices brood parasitism, which is a fancy term for being a deadbeat parent. It secretly lays its egg in the nest of another bird species, like a reed warbler. The cuckoo chick often hatches first and, driven by a ruthless instinct, heaves the other eggs out of the nest. The duped foster parents then work tirelessly to feed the giant, demanding imposter, never realizing they're raising the enemy's child. It's a brutal but brilliant evolutionary strategy. 60. The Hoatzin chick is a walking prehistoric relic. These strange birds live in Amazonian swamps, and their nests are built over water. If a chick falls in and risks drowning, it has a secret weapon: 2 fully functional claws on each of its wings. Using these ancient reptilian holdovers, it can actually climb back up the tree trunk to safety. The claws disappear as the bird matures, but for a brief time, this chick is essentially a tiny, feathered Archaeopteryx. 61. This antelope looks like it escaped from a sci-fi movie with its bizarre, oversized, trunk-like nose. But this schnoz is a masterpiece of adaptation. During the dusty summer migrations, it filters out clouds of dust and dirt from the air. In the freezing winters, the complex nasal passages warm the frigid air before it reaches the lungs. This incredible proboscis is a built-in, multi-purpose air conditioner and filtration system, all rolled into one weird and fantastic package. 62. These ants invented agriculture millions of years before humans. Leafcutter ants don't actually eat the leaves they famously carry. Instead, they are farmers. They bring the leaf fragments back to their massive nests, chew them into a pulp, and use this material to cultivate a specific type of fungus. This fungus is their only food source. They even have a waste disposal system and use antibiotics produced by bacteria on their bodies to protect their crops. They are tiny, six-legged agronomists. 63. Nudibranchs, or sea slugs, are the jewel thieves of the ocean. These stunningly beautiful creatures are often highly toxic, but they don't make their own poison. They are kleptocrats. They feed on poisonous organisms like sponges, hydroids, and even Portuguese man-of-wars. Instead of digesting the stinging cells, they sequester them and transport them to the tips of their own feathery external gills, serrata. They literally steal their prey's weapons and use them in self-defense. Talk about a power move. 64. This ant holds the record for the fastest predatory strike on Earth. Its mandibles are spring-loaded, snapping shut at an astonishing 233 kilometers per hour, 145 miles per hour, in less than a millisecond. This is fast enough to smash other insects to bits instantly. But they don't just use it for hunting. When threatened, they point their jaws at the ground, snap them shut, and launch themselves up to 40 centimeters, 16 inches, away. A hilarious and effective escape mechanism known as a bouncer defense. 65. Meet the only known frog that has completely given up on lungs. The Bornean flat-headed frog breathes entirely through its skin. Living in cold, fast-moving, oxygen-rich streams in Borneo, it simply absorbs all the oxygen it needs directly through its capillaries. This adaptation makes it less buoyant, allowing it to sink and hold onto the bottom in strong currents without being swept away. It's a sleek, streamlined reminder that evolution can sometimes decide the simplest solution is to lose an organ entirely. 66. We know dolphins are intelligent, but some in Australia's Shark Bay are genuine inventors. They practice the only known case of tool use among marine mammals. To protect their sensitive snouts while foraging on the rocky seafloor, they break off marine sponges and wear them over their beaks like a protective glove. This sponging technique is passed down from mother to daughter, making it a rare example of animal culture. It's like a dolphin having its own set of kitchen gloves for a tricky job. 67. This turtle is a master of suspended animation. During underwater hibernation, it can survive for weeks without a single breath of oxygen. How? It switches its metabolism to one that doesn't require oxygen, creating a buildup of lactic acid that would kill most animals. But this turtle has a secret weapon. Its shell. It releases carbonates from its own shell into its bloodstream to neutralize the acid. It's a living, breathing chemistry set that defies death every winter. 68. Picture a frog you can see right through. The glass frog of Central and South America has translucent skin on its underside. When you look up from below, you can see its internal organs in full working view. Its heart beating, its digestive system processing food, and even its bones. This incredible transparency breaks up its outline against the leafy canopy, making it nearly invisible to predators below. It's the ultimate camouflage, becoming a living window to hide in plain sight. 69. Loggerhead sea turtles are born with a built-in GPS. After hatching on a beach, they venture into the open ocean for years, traveling thousands of miles. To find their way back to their exact natal beach to lay their own eggs, they navigate using the Earth's magnetic field. They essentially have a magnetic map in their brains that allows them to sense both latitude and longitude. It's one of the most precise and mysterious navigational systems in the natural world. 70. This lizard doesn't just swim, it literally runs on water. Nicknamed the Jesus Christ lizard, it can sprint across the surface of ponds and rivers for distances of up to 4.5 meters, 15 feet, before it sinks. Its huge feet and fringed toes slap the water hard and fast, creating tiny air pockets that trap bubbles and increase surface tension. It's a breathtaking display of physics in action, all used to make a miraculous escape from predators. 71. Orcas aren't just random hunters. They are strategic tacticians with culturally learned techniques. Different pods have unique hunting methods passed down through generations. Some work together to create waves that wash seals off ice floes. Others will intentionally beach themselves to snatch sea lion pups from the shore. These aren't simple instincts. They are complex, coordinated plans that prove orcas have sophisticated social learning, making them the wolves of the sea. 72. This tiny squid turns the deep sea into a light show. Covered in light-producing organs called photophores, the firefly squid can create complex patterns of blue light across its body. It uses this ability for counter-illumination camouflage. By matching the intensity and color of the moonlight filtering down from above, it erases its own shadow, becoming invisible to predators looking up from the depths. It's a living constellation using light to vanish. 73. This fish lives in water that is chilling at below the freezing point of its own blood. So why isn't it a fish sickle? It survives thanks to special antifreeze glycoproteins in its blood. These proteins bind to microscopic ice crystals as they form, preventing them from growing large enough to puncture and destroy cells. It's a biological marvel that allows life to thrive in a place that should be completely frozen solid. 74. This little guy from Madagascar is one of the few mammals that uses echolocation, but it does so uniquely. Instead of using its voice like a bat, the lowland streaked tenrec rubs specialized quills together on its back to produce high-frequency clicks. It's essentially playing its own body like a musical instrument to navigate the dark. This quirky method helps it find insects in the dense undergrowth, proving there's more than one way to see in the dark. 75. A vulture's bald head might look strange, but it's a masterpiece of hygiene. Since they stick their heads deep into rotting carcasses, feathers would become a disgusting, bacteria-ridden mess. A featherless head is easy to keep clean and, more importantly, is naturally sterilized by the sun's intense ultraviolet rays. This brilliant adaptation helps prevent the spread of diseases they would otherwise pick up from their putrid meals. It isn't lovely, but it's a lifesaver. 76. This ancient creature is a living fossil with a fantastic hunting technique. It has two nozzles on its head that can spray a sticky, slimy net up to 30 centimeters, 12 inches, away. The slime hardens on contact, instantly trapping prey like crickets in a web of goo. The worm then calmly walks over and injects its victim with digestive saliva before feasting on the liquefied insides. It's not a worm or a bug, but a unique lineage that's been using this biological glue gun for over 500 million years. 77. These tiny birds are the ultimate architects. Sociable weavers build the most enormous bird nests in the world, massive haystack-like structures that can weigh over 900 kilograms, 2,000 pounds, and house hundreds of birds for generations. The nest is a complex apartment block with separate entrance tunnels and chambers, all woven from grass and twigs. Its thick, thatched roof provides incredible insulation, keeping it cool on blistering 40 degrees Celsius, 104 degrees Fahrenheit days, and warm on freezing desert nights. 78. In the dark of caves, the glowworm, which is actually a fungus gnat larva, creates a deadly, starry sky to lure its dinner. It hangs dozens of long, silken threads dotted with sticky mucus droplets from the ceiling. Then, it uses bioluminescence to produce a mesmerizing blue-green light. Flying insects are drawn to the light, get stuck in the threads, and are reeled up like a fisherman's line. It's a beautiful but brutal trap set in the cave's stillness. 79. This little lemur is the only known primate that truly hibernates. To survive Madagascar's dry season when food is scarce, it spends up to 7 months asleep. Its secret weapon is its tail, where it stores massive amounts of fat, swelling it into a plump sausage. Its heart rate drops to just a few beats per minute, and its body temperature fluctuates with the outside air. It's a rare and fantastic example of a mammal so close to us on the tree of life, mastering the art of deep sleep. 80. Everyone knows the skunk's defense is stinky, but the details are downright terrifying. The spray is a sulfur alcohol compound called thiol, one of the most pungent smells on Earth. The skunk has precise muscle control over its 2 anal glands, allowing it to accurately spray this blinding, nauseating liquid up to 3 meters, 10 feet. The smell can be detected by a human up to 1.6 kilometers, 1 mile, away. It's a weapon of mass disgust that ensures most predators will make that mistake only once. 81. The black rhino is a picky eater, and its built-in tool makes it possible. Unlike the wide-mouthed white rhino that grazes on grass, the black rhino is a browser, eating leaves from bushes and trees. To help it pluck the choicest leaves, it has a magnificent, pointed, prehensile upper lip. This lip acts like a finger, allowing the massive animal to grasp and manipulate branches with surprising dexterity. It's a brilliant example of how a slight adaptation can define a giant's diet. 82. Meerkats live in a complex cooperative society where everyone helps raise the alpha pair's pups. While the parents are foraging, other members of the mob act as, quote, babysitters, protecting the young at the burrow. They also serve as teachers, demonstrating how to safely disarm and eat deadly scorpions by removing the stinger. This communal care, where adults even compete for the chance to feed the pups, ensures the whole group's survival in the harsh Kalahari Desert. 83. Being the tallest animal on land creates a unique physics problem. A giraffe's heart must be mighty to pump blood 2 meters, 6 feet up its neck to its brain. But when it bends down to drink, that same pressure could blow out its brain. To solve this, it has a complex network of elastic blood vessels and one-way valves at the base of its brain that regulate pressure, preventing a deadly surge. Its skin is also incredibly tight on its legs, mimicking the effect of compression stockings to prevent blood from pooling. 84. The platypus is a bundle of weirdness, and its bill is its super sensor. When it dives to hunt, it closes its eyes, ears, and nose. So how does it find food? Its rubbery bill is packed with nearly 40,000 electroreceptors that can detect the tiny electrical signals generated by the muscle contractions of shrimp and worms hiding in the muddy riverbed. It's the only mammal that uses electroreception in this way, essentially seeing electricity to find its dinner in the dark. 85. This eel is a living rainbow that changes its identity. It is protandrous, meaning it begins life as a male and later becomes female. When it's a young male, it is jet black with a bright yellow dorsal fin. As it matures, it turns a brilliant blue and yellow. Finally, once it reaches a specific size and age, it undergoes a sex change, becoming an entirely yellow, fully female eel. It's a spectacular, color-coded life cycle that ensures its reproductive success. 86. This bird is a defensive powerhouse. An ostrich's kick is so powerful that it can literally kill a lion. Its long, muscular legs are evolutionary marvels, built for sprinting at speeds up to 72 kilometers per hour, 45 miles per hour, and delivering devastating defensive blows. It has a unique two-toed foot, with the larger inner toe bearing a formidable claw that acts like a spike. So while it might be famous for sticking its head in the sand, the real story is that it has legs that can dish out a world-ending beatdown. 87. Spider silk is a material science miracle. Weight for weight, it's stronger than steel and more rigid than Kevlar. But the real genius is in the web design. Orb weaver spiders create masterpieces of engineering using different types of silk for other jobs. Stretchy, sticky silk for capturing prey, and non-sticky, rigid silk for the structural spokes and frame. They even tune the web's tension like a guitar. It's a sophisticated, multifunctional trap built from one of the most incredible substances on Earth. 88. Hummingbirds are the helicopters of the bird world, and they are the only birds that can truly hover in mid-air. They achieve this magic by rotating their wings in a unique figure-8 pattern. This generates lift on both the forward and backward strokes, allowing them to stay perfectly still in the air. To power this incredibly demanding flight, their hearts can beat up to 1,200 times per minute. They are energetic marvels that literally defy gravity with every flap. 89. Elephants have a secret network we can't hear. They communicate over long distances using infrasound, deep, rumbling calls that are too low for human ears to detect. These powerful sound waves can travel through the air and even the ground for many kilometers. Other elephants hear these seismic messages through the sensitive skin on their feet and trunks, picking up the vibrations. It's a private, long-distance chat system that keeps the herd connected across the vast savanna. 90. The wolverine is a tough, solitary scavenger built for the frozen north. Is it a secret to traversing deep snow? Enormous, snowshoe-like paws. Their large surface area distributes their weight evenly, allowing them to run on snow that would sink other animals. Combined with sharp, semi-retractable claws that act like crampons, they can climb trees and scale icy cliffs with ease. They are the ultimate winter survivalists, outfitted with the perfect natural gear for a life in the snow. 91. Contrary to the classic myth, a camel's hump doesn't store water, it stores fat. The Bactrian camel, with its 2 magnificent humps, can survive for months without food in the harsh Gobi Desert. When resources are scarce, the body metabolizes this fat, releasing both energy and water as byproducts. Those humps can actually start to lean and droop as the fat is used up. They are literally walking, energy-dense food reserves that also provide life-sustaining hydration. 92. The seahorse is the ultimate role reversal icon. It is the only animal species in the world in which the male becomes pregnant and gives birth. The female deposits her eggs into a specialized brood pouch on the male's belly. He then fertilizes them internally and carries the developing embryos for several weeks. When they're ready, he goes through a series of muscular contractions to shoot hundreds of tiny, fully formed baby seahorses out into the water. He's a true Mr. Mom of the ocean. 93. This is the only spider in the world that lives almost its entire life underwater. The diving bell spider builds a silken web among aquatic plants, but that's just the beginning. It then makes trips to the surface, trapping air bubbles in its body hairs. It carries these bubbles down to fill its web, creating a magnificent underwater diving bell. It lives inside this air-filled chamber, popping out to catch prey and even raising its young in the safety of its personal submarine. 94. This fish is having an identity crisis in the best way. The mud skipper spends most of its life on land, skipping across mud flats and even climbing up roots. Its specially adapted pectoral fins act like strong little arms, allowing it to crutch itself along. It doesn't have lungs, but it holds a mouthful of water to breathe through its gills, and it can also absorb oxygen through its skin and the lining of its mouth. It's a fish that decided the water was overrated. 95. The sperm whale is the deep-diving champion of the ocean. It can plunge to depths of over 2,100 meters, 7,000 feet, and hold its breath for up to 90 minutes. To survive the crushing pressure, its body is a masterpiece of adaptation. Its lungs can collapse safely, and it has a high concentration of myoglobin in its muscles to store vast amounts of oxygen. It even has a unique, waxy substance in its head called spermaceti that may help regulate its buoyancy on these epic dives into the abyss. 96. Move over, Picasso. The male pufferfish in Japan is a master sand sculptor. To attract a mate, he works tirelessly for up to 9 days, using his fins to carve an intricate, geometric, circular pattern in the seabed. This stunning structure, over 2 meters, 6.5 feet in diameter, isn't just beautiful. Its ridges and grooves help channel water currents, protecting the eggs laid in the center from being swept away. It's art, engineering, and romance, all created by a tiny fish. 97. To survive the Antarctic winter with temperatures of -51 degrees Celsius, -60 degrees Fahrenheit, and winds over 160 kilometers per hour, 100 miles per hour, emperor penguins form a giant living huddle. Thousands of birds packed together, shoulder to shoulder, in a constantly moving mass. Those on the freezing outside slowly shuffle their way into the warmer center, while those in the middle gradually move out, ensuring that every penguin takes a turn warming up. It's a selfless, coordinated act of survival that showcases the power of community. 98. Don't let its beautiful shell fool you. This is one of the deadliest creatures in the ocean. The cone snail hunts fast fish by shooting a harpoon-like tooth that delivers a complex cocktail of hundreds of different neurotoxins. The venom acts in seconds, instantly paralyzing the prey. But this potent venom is also a medical marvel. Scientists are using it to develop non-addictive painkillers that are 1,000 times more potent than morphine. It's a deadly snail that could save lives. 99. This living fossil has been around for 450 million years, and its blue blood is a modern medical miracle. The blood contains specialized immune cells that instantly detect and form a clot around dangerous bacterial toxins. This substance, called limulus amoebocyte lysate, LAL, is used to test every single batch of intravenous drugs, vaccines, and medical implants for contamination. If you've ever had a shot, you owe a debt of gratitude to the incredible blue-blooded horseshoe crab. 100. We end with the oldest vertebrate on our planet. The Greenland shark glides slowly through the deep, dark, icy waters of the North Atlantic, growing at a glacial pace of about 1 centimeter, 0.4 inches, per year. Using radiocarbon dating, scientists have found these sharks can live for over 400 years. That means a shark alive today could have been born before Shakespeare wrote a single play. They are ancient, mysterious wanderers, living time capsules of our ocean's history. Our greatest adaptation isn't found in the deep sea or frozen tundra, it's inside our own skulls. It's our brain's ability to learn from these 100 incredible creatures, understand their secrets, and apply that knowledge. We mimic the kingfisher's beak to build faster trains and study whale fins to build better turbines. Our superpower is cumulative culture and innovation. The real question is, will we use that power to preserve the very world that provides these incredible blueprints for survival? And there you have it. 100 astonishing adaptations that reveal the sheer power of evolution. If you have a favorite fact, share it below. If you enjoyed this journey, please like and subscribe for more deep dives into nature's secrets. And as always, stay curious, and thanks for watching.